Hello.
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 Should we open the camera? Okay.
We won't throw you out if you don't. So, it is
No.
voluntary.
Yes, it's fine.
Okay. Yeah, I suppose we can start. The only things we have on the well, for now on the agenda is there's some that the GSoC guys can give some update. So I suppose we can start with that. So do you want to start, Rajat?
Hi everyone. Can I have 5 minutes to be ready? Just 5 minutes. I'll present after 5 minutes. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I don't know. Osama, can you give some update where you're at?
Okay, I can start from now and Rajat can start after.
Yep.
So I'm gonna share my screen. And can you see my screen?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so basically what I was doing a couple of days ago, me and Ankit, we were generating SBOM documents for GX binaries. And we are also we were investigating about how we enable SBOM generation as part of Jenkins X features. So I created a blog post about this, and it's pending review from Fatih. He is one of the CDF maintainers. I don't know if he is the lead of CDF or what, but this is basically the document. Let me take it from here. English docs, blog posts. Yes, and they are divided into three documents. Let me see. This is this form. Get from here. Okay, so we divided into three parts. The first one is about the introduction to SBOM, what is it, and what are the specifications and the requirements. It's mainly defined by the NTIA, which is a governmental organization. The document after this, we make a brief comparison between the different formats and the specifications and standards of SBOM generation tools, which is basically three different formats. The SPTX, which is supported and created by the Linux Foundation. The other one is SWID tag, which is a standard defined by NIST. The third standard is Cyclone DX. It's created by WASP Technologies, which is an open source organization if someone doesn't know about it. After this comparison, we make another comparison about the different generation tools. There is a lot of tools that are promising in creating SBOM documents with different formats. So for now, we discussed about Anchor Sifts and Open SBOM, which has SBOM generation for SPDX standard, and Kubernetes SBOM, which is a plugin installed on a Kubernetes cluster, and the Microsoft SBOM tool, which was open sourced a couple of months ago, and Turn, which is an open source tool by VMware. And this basically is the document what's talking about. It's talking about a comparison between these tools. The three of these tools are about to be published on the blog post of Jenkins X, so be stay tuned to watch it and to read it. The other part of our work is to generate the SBOM documents for GX binaries. We worked on the GX pipeline plugin. Okay, and we succeeded to generate one of the SBOM documents. Let me take it. Yes, here it is. This one is generated by Sift, which we said earlier. It's a tool about the SBOM generation, and we generated it in SPTX standards that is supported by Linux Foundation. The process for generating this SBOM document is by enabling it in GitHub Actions. GitHub Actions added support for SBOM generation, okay, which can be
actually
seen
this
from here.
one, sorry, so this one was done using like Jenkins X, whereas the JX binary was done using like GitHub. So if you go to like Lighthouse Jenkins X,
Yes,
yeah,
I remember this one.
Yeah, you just click on the
Yes.
release. Yes.
Okay, sorry, I got confused about this. Okay, do you remember? Can you remind me which one was done by GitHub Actions?
That would be like JX, the
Yes.
Jenkins X, JX, like the main
Yes.
repo. Yeah.
Okay, I was gonna explain that we first began with GitHub Actions and then we migrated to Jenkins X, but since
that's fine. Like one of the things is we will move completely off like GitHub soon. Like I don't have a date, but we are trying to like move away from it and use Jenkins X to test like Jenkins X.
Yes. So. Okay. Where is the step for generating SBOM?
It is in the upload binaries.shell.
Yes.
It's again, it's a hack. We need to get it like better, but You need to probably be on the main branch. Maybe your branch is
Yes.
not up to date. Like you're not, I mean, maybe your fork is not up to date. So
Okay. So anyways, we started by making SPOM generation from GitHub Actions. Yes, that's it. Here we download the Sift installation tool, and we basically use Go Releaser to generate SPOM documentation. Go Releaser is by Go Releaser can natively support SPOM generation, but it requires Sift to be installed. I think my internet connection went down. Can you hear me? Hello?
yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Okay, sorry, I thought the internet connection was interrupted. Okay, after doing it with GitHub Actions, we started to migrate to use our own from Jenkins X. So at first, inside the pipeline, inside the release pipeline, we added a step to download Sift. This is an Alpine image to download Sift, and inside the upload binaries script, we started using it to generate the SPOM documentation. If we go to this, if we go to upload binaries inside the pipeline catalog, we can find, yes, that's it. Okay. Okay, and this is the step that's using SPOM. It's called Go Releaser. Okay, which is also defining a step that's creating an SPOM generation. And it basically do what I showed you earlier. If you go to GX pipeline, inside the plugins, you can view from the releases that we now have SPOM document for each binary that's built. This is for Darwin AMD 64, and for each one, I downloaded the one for Linux AMD 64. It basically follows the standards of SBTX. I don't think we have time to explain all of this, but it's just generating.
So my question is
yes,
how, so what was done in Go, like releaser to actually change it so that it now generates, like SBOM? Like what was the change that was done? If you can like walk us through that, like
okay,
something was changed in Go releaser, right? Which is why it started generating, like SBOMs. If you can show that change, that would be really nice.
Yes, okay, that's good. Okay, I'm gonna to go to this. Basically, we just add this line. In Go Releaser, I said earlier that it supports SPOM generation, but it requires Sift to be installed, or the tool to be installed previously. So basically, what we did inside the release pipeline, inside the release, we added the step to download Sift, but inside the Go Releaser, we added this line. This is this one enables us to create SPOMs with each binary that's created. If you go to the official Go releaser, you can find that it supports generating this step. Yes, that's it. You can go to this, and it have some other flags, maybe the ID, the document, the command with arguments. So the default command is Sift. So you have to be using Sift if you don't use other tools. So you have to install Sift. That's it. Does this answer the question?
Yeah, and like to like add to that, if you want to use like other tools, you just like install them and then change like CMD to call that tool. Like you can use Turn, for
Yes,
example, right, or like any other tool, but you need to like download it and then uh change like CMD so that it calls like Go releaser calls that like that tool and not Sift. But Sift is what we
yes,
had by default, and we didn't want to. I mean, like this is very new to us. Like this is like Salsa, like level 1, if I'm right, right, Osama?
yes. It's starting with Salsa level 1.
Right, right.
And after the comparison we made in the blog post, we concluded that Sift would be the best suited tool for us at this level. So it's not just that it's enabled by default; it's actually suitable for our needs right now.
Right. I mean, it supports all of the different, like languages.
Yes,
So, like anyone who's not using Go, for example, can just take that and just run Sift, and they should be totally fine with that. So all you need to do is, so once we have the pipeline, like once we have, like the catalog task, which I believe is already there, there's a PR open for that. So once that
yes,
is merged and the version stream has been, like upgraded, we don't need to have this in all of our like repositories, right? So we can just add that task, which like Osama has like
yes.
worked on, and then we get like SBOM for everything, which would be really great. Like this is
Yes, I was gonna explain about this. So till
yeah,
now, we told that we added this step inside the release pipeline. The next step we are working now is to add this step as part of the catalog tasks. So if you go to the pipeline catalog, you can see there is a this is my local fork. I opened the PR about it yesterday, and it's waiting for view. But you can see here there's a directory called supply chain security. I can just supply maybe in the branch in this branch. So I'm just moving to yes, that's it. If you go to the supply chain security directory, you can find a task.yaml that includes the step of downloading safe binaries. So after this PR gets merged, we can easily go to the pipeline release, and just instead of this, we can use this step inside the pipeline catalog. We just made uses 2 points and version stream of this task like this schema here. After this, this will be available to all our users to generate, of course, using Sift, because we said that Go releaser by default supports Sift. We enable our users to generate SBOMs just from this task. They have just to use this task to download Sift and use Go releaser to generate the SBOM for every archive they generate. And I think this is our progress for now. If someone has have other questions.
excited about it. It's actually very, very interesting stuff. And we also plan to give a talk in the supply chain SIG, like meeting. We still don't have the date, like finalized, but it's most likely August, like 25th, or sometime, like uh, you know, sometime, like later. But this is like good work. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I think this is our progress for now. And Rajat, you can, if you are ready, you can start with your demo.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing and you can go.
Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yes, yes.
So, okay. I have a Jenkins X cluster setup. Okay, and I'm gonna show you some of the things that we are building until now. Okay, so I'm going to create a new branch. Okay, um, oh. Mhm. That's one. And okay, and I'm gonna make a change. Change test one. Okay. And push. And I'm gonna create a PR from it. So it started a PR test, which so this is the Jenkins X we have. And if you go to pipelines, you can see there is a quick start 005. That is my repository that I am currently making a PR to. Has a branch of PR-3 and the bill is one. So I have actually three PRs. So that is why it is named PR3. And since it's the first commit, it has a build number one, which is running currently. And if I click on this build, I can see the details and the logs generated. It's still in progress. So like it's still like very, very raw, but yeah. And and if I want to stop the pipeline, I can just click on this. But I think it's completed. Yeah, it's succeeded actually. So we can see on refreshing that the status is succeeded. So if I go back to the pipelines page and I refresh, so I can see that first job is succeeded. Okay, and let's make another change. Yes.
Is there, like a pending task or like some kind of a task that takes a bit like longer to run so that we can actually see what happens when you want to stop a pipeline, right? Because if something
Yeah.
ends in like 2 seconds or 3 seconds, it doesn't give you enough time to click on the button and see something. So that would help.
Yes. 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 So let's create another branch.
Well, if there's a PR, you can just do /test PR, right? In that pull request. I believe you have a
Yeah.
pull request and you can just do /test PR there and just rerun that.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Fine. So I have two PRs, other, and I can show you how does that work. So this is a PR that I created long time back, and let's see the file change. It should have the wrong image. Yes. So this one should fail and can sorry. Yes, it will take a bit longer to run because the Docker image is wrong here. So if I do test PR commented on here, and it should rerun the PR tests. So if I go back to my UI and I refresh, so I see there is like PR1, that is my first PR that I created, and it's the build number 22, 22nd commit. It's still pending. And this time, if I click on the build number and I go to the detail page, yeah, and if okay, yeah. So if I click this time on the button, I see a modal which says stop pipeline. Are you sure you want to stop the pipeline name, pipeline activity name? If I hit yes, it does not update, but if you hit refresh, it updates and stops the pipeline. And you refresh here and you see that the pipeline is cancelled. Yeah, and these are some of the things that we have been doing till now.
That feels a little bit like a user interface problem there, because if you've got what's effectively a closed dot in the top right hand corner of the screen, then a lot of users are going to assume that that's to close this view and go back to the previous view, rather than to actually stop the pipeline itself.
Okay.
That's a good point. We should probably have something saying stop pipeline, I guess. Does that?
Yeah, we can have a like, if you click on it, it shows like some kind of hover or something that says stop pipeline.
No,
Yeah.
I mean just like a red, like button that says stop pipeline, maybe, or like cancel pipeline. Maybe that
Okay.
would make it more clear to people. Like,
Yeah.
because I think that's actually a good point. If we, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Also, maybe we can look at the DAG stuff if you have that.
Yes. So the pipeline have a YAML file. I mean, after like the PR is cancelled or even successful, right? Checking the status is a bit hard. So we are planning to have a DAG that would help seeing which steps succeeded or which failed, or like exact status. So we are planning to use something like this. So you can have from build pack, then you have all the steps. It's a bit zoom out. I can zoom out. And so it would be like this. At first you have some kind of button which says either DAG or charts, or I mean, it's not decided yet, but something like this. So it will show all these steps, and with them we will have a status, like some kind of icons that would say that this step is successfully completed, or this is failed, or it's still running. This is the idea we have for the DAG. Yeah. Did I miss anything else?
Yeah, so basically we want to make it easy for people to see the different, like steps of a pipeline, the, like parallel tasks and all those things. Ideally, people should be able to click on like the DAG graphs, like you can click on JX, like variables, and in the future it would be nice if it can show the logs and maybe the step, like the like definition of the step and all those kind of stuff. And it can also show which steps are pending, which steps are being run, and which steps have completed. So kind of a good, like visual cue to people. And this feature, like exists in every other CI/CD platform out there. Like GitLab has it, Argo, Jenkins, they all have these kind of neat, like DAG workflows. So I think this is good progress, I believe, at least from my end. To me, it looks like good progress. Somebody else wants to add something?
Yeah, thanks, Rajat, for this showcase. I just have one doubt here, like in this current tab only. So here under the branch header, so you are mentioning like a PR1, PR3, PR1. So these are actually PRs that has been created in the GitHub. These are not actually the
The
branch
branch.
from where you are originating the PR.
Yes.
So I think it's kind of little bit means user will get misunderstood this one. So either you
Okay.
can just change the header name, or maybe if you want to actually want to show the branch, then you can read the branch. You can show the branch here.
Yeah,
Whatever.
Yeah.
yeah. I think we can do that. So if you see the branch, right, it's just Jenkins X has like, I mean, Lighthouse says like one of the variables, right? It actually shows that as main if you know like scroll down, which is actually a branch, but then you have PR1. So for I know there is a variable that you know like we can use that gives the correct you know like branch name and not you know, like PR1. But yes, we can do that, and we will do it. We will change that.
The other thing to bear in mind is that on a busy server, this screen will fill up very quickly, so it can be challenging to find the right build to look at. So it might be worth having a think about how best to be able to filter this information to quickly get to what you're looking for.
I think you can search, like if
Yes.
Rajat, if you can show, like you can search on any of the columns, and also it shows the latest build by default. Like you can search on maybe you know like the repository name. But yes, we are still like thinking about you know the UX part of it, how to best show it. Like if you have thousands of pipelines, we've just like I mean you know like you said, it is just hard for people to see. And so but we have something in place for now. But yes, we are working on that also. And
it might be worth us thinking about including some additional metadata so that you can effectively tag things in your build process, so that you can then use those tags in this view to get to them more easily.
I see.
So if you've got multiple teams working on things, then it might be useful to have some ability for those teams to tag their builds and mark them out.
It would be very practical if you would pull the labels from the repositories in GitHub, for example, so you can search on those. Because we at least use those for themes in our organizations. So that came automatically in here. That would be practical.
So you mean you know like labels like just the same as you know like repository, like we have the repository name being shown?
Like these kinds of labels, like size X, or different kinds of label that we have, something like document announcement.
No, I think he meant the name of the repos, right, Martin? No, is that wrong? Is he here? Hello.
Labels of the repos. If you go to the repo, the main part, it's the front page of the repo. No,
Just quick start 005. Click on that.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
So up to you don't have any here, but topics actually. Sorry, topics is what they call it. So if you go to the if you go to the top to the cog button beside the about to the right.
Okay.
The cog button there to the right.
This one.
Yeah.
Cool.
There you can assign topics. I was wrong. It's not called labels here. It was a reason it's called topics here. I suppose it's to separate them.
Okay.
But these things can be anything. For example, we use those to mark which team is responsible for a particular repo.
That is neat. I didn't know this. Okay, great. So then when you go, it shows this like outside of like if I click on say you know like Rajat Gupta and then it like 24, will it allow me to filter by this topic in GitHub?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, great. This is nice. Yeah, so we can get that. Yeah, I think that would also be a nice feature to like help people sort. Yeah, like all of the like sorting we do at this point is like client side. So you just go to the table, you try to search on like a column. You can do a lot of stuff there. Like this is pretty much like say you want to search for cluster like 005, so you would just click on like repository. No, not that. So in like in like pipelines, yes, you can just click on that like column at the top. Yes, and click on the three yes, just click on that, and you can just say cluster 005, and it should just show only the pipelines from cluster 005. So this was like something we had like we got by just using this package. So but yes, we will look at that. And yeah, so at this point the pipeline runs locally. It's just a binary that is running. We had an issue with npm run build, which was fixed yesterday night. But now that that's fixed, we will create a Helm chart, and we will like it will be like released and everything, so people can start like playing with it. But if somebody wants to like try it out, the JX UI repo has some has a like readme file where where it says how to build it and how to run it. For now, that is what we have. I think Dave, if he's still in the meeting, he wanted to uh, like he wanted to like try it out a bit. So if he's lost his voice. Okay. Okay. Yeah, so I can probably like we can like talk about it on like how to run it, and like see if it helps you out, if there are like issues that you want to fix. I know that the like if you have like multiple tasks, for example, it does not like render them like that well. But that is something that we are going to fix very, very soon. So that shouldn't be an issue after some time. But I mean, again, like this is just getting a new UI up and running. Eventually, this becomes the single point for all like Jenkins X users. You want to add a repo, you go to this UI, you import a repository. Nothing works there. If you click on it, I don't think it will work. And like eventually we also want to show like the CD part, like so like I want to see what has been deployed to production, what is in staging, and like those kind of pipelines. I think like Spinnaker has some of that in their UI, so it would be nice to show all of that in one view to people. So yeah, that's kind of the end goal of this like UI project, that you just need one UI to do like everything with Jenkins X, and not four that we have like at the moment. Like we have Lens, we have Octant, we have the visualizer, and then we have we have a UI which shows like Lighthouse stuff. So it would be nice to have all of that wrapped into a single UI that then like people can use, and you don't have to give them like so if I want to stop a pipeline, I should not have access to the build cluster. Like so that was one of the goals also, like to like make a new UI. So but yes, we are still new to it. We are still like working. So yeah, we will continue to give demos in all of like the office hours, and see like where we are going with it. That's it. Somebody else has something else. Go ahead.
One more query I have. So like recently, just now you have showed that DAX part where we will get to see on which step the our current pipeline is. So let's say this yeah. So let's say at some part, let's say git clone part has been finished. After that, we have stopped the pipeline. So do we are we in the direction that once the pipeline has been stopped, maybe later we want to resume it from the same step where it has been last stopped? Do
No, no,
we
no.
are we
If
thinking in
you
that
if you
direction?
start if you start from the pipeline or restart it, it will start from the start, not from any point. Because like JX pipeline start does work like that. Like it starts from the like very start. So resuming is like I don't think it makes sense.
No, I mean
And
it does make sense, but I don't think we can do it today. That is like, I mean, if you look at GitHub, I believe you can start from a failed step, although I have never tried it, but there's a button that says I can start from the failed step. I don't think you can do that in Tecton, but also we're running an old version of Tecton, so I have to look if there are newer versions of Tecton that can do that. But I would be, like surprised if we can do that. So for now, if you were to restart a pipeline, it would start from the beginning. It is just one of the limitations we have at this point. But yeah. Oh, also sometime in the future, we should be able to start a pipeline from the UI. So like especially, like a release pipeline. I would love to have a release pipeline start. Like you can just go to a repository, look at all of the pipelines there, and just start one of that. That would help. Like you can start like if you open a pull request, then a pipeline starts, or you can do /test PR. So, like the pull request part, it's kind of, like easy to start a pipeline that way. But if you have a release pipeline, there is no, like GitHub stuff that you can do. You have to run JX pipeline start now. So having that in the UI would like help people who don't have access to the build cluster, but would still like to run it. This also brings up the topic of, like RBAC. So that is also something that we have thought about, but I don't think it will be in the scope of this, like initial work. But we have LFX internship floated around the idea of, like RBAC. But once we get anything, if we get approved and we get somebody to work on that, that would be one of the things that we can take a look at. But for now, if you have access to the UI, you can stop a pipeline. So I think we probably don't want that, right? Like we would not want anybody to just go in and like stop a pipeline. So yeah, we are going to, like build, like all of that very soon. But for now, it's a bit, like bare bone and basic. So baby steps.
Yeah, that sounds cool. Thanks for the update.
Oh, we also have a UI SIG on Friday every week. So if you are, like interested in joining that and like seeing what is going on, so it's mostly me and Rajat and a few other people just, trying out, getting something to work, having long, like debugging sessions kind of helps to have, like a 1 hour slot where we can do, like anything we want. So yeah, that is also there. I think we have few people who are part of it. So yeah, that's all.
I can stop my
So I suppose if we nobody have want to add anything on the agenda. I suppose we don't need to prolong this any further.
Fine with me.
Yeah, man. In that case, we'll give you the last 15 minutes back. So thank you for today. Bye.
Bye-bye.